What if I told you that the person sitting next to you on the bus, making minimum wage, could retire with more money than a doctor, simply because they started investing 10 years earlier? That's not motivation talk. That's math. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to make that math work for you, starting today in 2026. Look, I get messages every single day from people who say the same thing. I want to start investing, but I don't know where to begin. I don't have much money. And honestly, the whole thing scares me. If that's you, take a breath, because today that changes. I'm going to break down investing for complete beginners in 2026. No jargon, no fluff, no pretending you need to be a Wall Street genius to grow your wealth. Whether you've got $50 or $5,000 to start with, this video is going to give you a real, practical roadmap. So stick with me till the end, because point number 5 is the one mistake that costs beginners thousands of dollars, and I don't want that to be you. So your real solution is you don't need a finance degree, you don't need $10,000, and you don't need to pick the next big stock. You need ON low-cost index fund, ONE automated monthly deposit, and TM. That's the entire formula the wealthy don't want you to know is this simple. Then hit follow, because next video I'm breaking down the exact index funds beginners should be watching in 2026. Let's talk about something nobody really teaches you growing up, and it's the real reason most people never build wealth, even if they make good money. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how you think about the money you already have. And that starts with flipping one simple switch in your brain. Stop thinking like a saver and start thinking like a grower. Here's what I mean. Most of us were raised with the same advice, right? Save your money. Put it in the bank. Don't touch it. And look, that advice isn't wrong, it's just incomplete. Because here's what nobody tells you. Money sitting in a regular savings account isn't actually safe. It's slowly losing value every single day. That's called inflation, and it's the silent thief in this whole story. Let me give you a real example. Say you've got $10,000 sitting in a savings account earning maybe 0.5% interest. Meanwhile, inflation is running at around 3 to 4% a year. That means your money isn't just sitting still, it's actually shrinking in terms of what it can buy you. That vacation that costs $3,000 today, in 10 years it might cost $4,500. But your savings account balance barely moved, so technically you didn't lose money on paper, but you got poorer in real life. That's the trap. Now here's the mindset shift. Instead of asking, how do I protect this money by keeping it still? Start asking, how do I put this money to work so it grows faster than the cost of living rises? That's the entire game of investing in one sentence. You're not gambling. You're not trying to get rich overnight. You're simply making sure your money is doing something instead of doing nothing. Think of it like this: saving is like storing water in a bucket. It keeps it safe, but the bucket doesn't grow. Investing is like planting that water into soil. It takes a little more patience, a little more trust in the process, but over time, it multiplies into something way bigger than what you started with. And I know what some of you are thinking. I don't have enough money to invest. That's for rich people. I hear this literally every week, and I want to gently push back on that. In 2026, you can start investing with less than the cost of your weekly coffee order. This isn't about having a lot of money to begin with. It's about developing the habit and the mindset early, so that when you do earn more, you already know exactly what to do with it. So before we go any further, I want you to remember this one line: your money's job is to grow, not just to sit there. Once that clicks, everything else about investing becomes so much easier to understand. And that's exactly where we're headed next, because once your mindset shifts, we need to make sure your financial foundation is solid enough to build on. Now, before you go rushing off to open a brokerage account and buy your first stock, I need to slow you down for a second. Because here's a mistake I see beginners make constantly. They get excited about investing, jump in head first, and skip a step that honestly matters more than picking the perfect stock. That step is building your financial foundation first. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't put a beautiful roof on top of a foundation made of sand, right? It doesn't matter how nice the roof looks, the whole thing collapses the moment a storm hits. Investing works exactly the same way. If your financial foundation isn't solid, one unexpected expense can force you to sell your investments at the worst possible time, and that wrecks your progress before it even really starts. So what does a solid foundation actually look like? 2 things. First, an emergency fund. Second, getting rid of high-interest debt. Let's break both of those down. Your emergency fund is basically your life shock absorber. It's money set aside, sitting somewhere safe and easy to access, that covers you if life throws a curveball. Job loss, car repair, medical bill, doesn't matter what it is, it happens to everyone eventually. The general rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses. So if you spend around $2,000 a month just living your normal life, rent, food, bills, you're aiming for somewhere between $6,000 and $12,000 set aside. Now I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a lot. How am I supposed to save that and invest at the same time? Totally fair question. And here's the honest answer. You don't have to choose one or the other. But you do need to prioritize the emergency fund first, even if it's small. Because without it, any emergency becomes a reason to pull money out of your investments early. And that's exactly how beginners lose momentum and get discouraged. The second piece is dealing with high-interest debt. And I'm mainly talking about things like credit cards here. If you're carrying a credit card balance charging you 20-25, even 30% interest, no investment is realistically going to beat that. The stock market historically returns around 8 to 10% a year on average. So if your debt is costing you more than double that, paying it off ice your investment. It's a guaranteed return because every dollar you pay off is a dollar you're no longer bleeding in interest. Here's a simple way to think about your order of operations. Build a small starter emergency fund first, maybe $1,000. Then aggressively pay down high-interest debt. Then build your full emergency fund up to 3 to 6 months. And once that foundation is steady under your feet, you start investing consistently, without the fear of one emergency knocking the whole thing down. This isn't the exciting part of the journey, I get it. But trust me, this is the part that protects everything you're about to build. And once your foundation is locked in, that's when the fun part starts, because next, we're going to break down exactly where your money should actually go. Okay, so your mindset is right, your foundation is solid. Now let's talk about the part everyone actually gets excited about. Where does your money actually go? Because here's the thing, investing isn't just one single thing. It's an umbrella term, and under that umbrella, there are a handful of options you need to understand, not memorize, just understand, so you can make confident decisions instead of guessing. Let's start with stocks. When you buy a stock, you're literally buying a tiny piece of ownership in a company. So if you buy a stock in a coffee company, you now technically own a small sliver of every store, every cup sold, every bit of profit that business makes. The upside: if the company grows, your slice grows with it. The downside: if the company struggles, your slice shrinks too. Individual stocks can be exciting, but for beginners, they're also risky because you're betting on one company's future. That's where index funds come in, and honestly, this is where most beginners should be paying attention. An index fund is basically a big basket that holds pieces of hundreds, sometimes thousands of different companies at once. So instead of betting everything on one company doing well, you're spreading your money across an entire slice of the market. Think of it like ordering a combo meal. Instead of betting your dinner on one random dish, you get variety, and if one item disappoints, the rest balance it out. Closely related to that are ETFs, or exchange-traded funds. Honestly, for a beginner, think of these as cousins of index funds. They work in a similar way, bundling lots of investments together, but they trade throughout the day like a stock. You don't need to stress over the technical difference right now. Just know that both index funds and ETFs are beginner-friendly ways to invest in the market as a whole, instead of trying to pick individual winners. Then we've got bonds. Bonds are basically you loaning money, either to a government or a company, and in return, they pay you back with interest over time. They're generally more stable than stocks, but they also grow slower. Think of bonds as the calm, steady friend in your portfolio. They're not going to make you rich fast, but they add balance and reduce how much your investments swing up and down. And finally, retirement accounts. This isn't a separate investment exactly, it's more like a special container you put your investments inside, one that comes with tax advantages. Depending on where you live, this might be something like a 401k through your job, or an individual retirement account you open yourself. The real magic here is that these accounts often let your money grow either tax-free or tax-deferred, which over 20 or 30 years can genuinely add up to tens of thousands of extra dollars compared to investing the exact same amount in a regular taxable account. So here's the simple beginner takeaway. You don't need to master all of these overnight. Most beginners start with a low-cost index fund inside a retirement account, and that alone puts you ahead of the majority of people who never start at all. Once you're comfortable, That's when you can explore individual stocks or bonds if you want to. But the foundation, it's always the same, simple, diversified, and consistent. Alright, this next part is honestly my favorite thing to teach, because once it clicks, it changes how you see money forever. I want to talk about the power of starting small and starting now, and specifically, why compounding is the closest thing to magic that actually exists in personal finance. Here's the biggest myth I want to bust right away, the myth that you need a lot of money to start investing. You don't. What you actually need is time. And I mean that literally, time is more valuable than the amount of money you start with. Let me prove it to you with a real example. Let's say you start investing just $100 a month, starting today in 2026. Nothing crazy, just $100, consistently every single month. If that money grows at an average annual return of around 8%, which is roughly what the stock market has historically averaged over long periods, here's what happens. After 10 years, you'd have contributed $12,000, but your account could be worth around $18,000. Not bad, right? But here's where it gets wild. After 30 years, you'd have only contributed $36,000 out of your own pocket, but your account could be worth over $20,000. Let that sink in for a second. Over $1,000 of that is money your money made, all on its own, while you were living your life. That's compounding. It's your money earning returns, and then those returns earning their OWN returns, snowballing on top of itself year after year. It's slow and boring at the beginning. Honestly, the first few years barely look like anything is happening. But that's exactly why most people quit too early. They expect fireworks in year one, and when they don't see it, they give up. But compounding isn't front-loaded, it's back-loaded. The real explosion happens in the later years, which means the biggest mistake you can make isn't investing badly, it's simply not starting. Here's a comparison that always wakes people up. Imagine two friends. One starts investing $100 a month at age 25. The other waits and starts the exact same $100 a month at age 35. That's just a 10-year head start. By the time they both hit 65, the person who started at 25 could end up with nearly double the money of the person who started at 35, even though they only invested for 10 more years. That's not luck, that's just math, and it's why financial experts constantly repeat one phrase: time in the market beats timing the market. So here's your practical takeaway. Stop waiting for the right amount of money to start. $50 a month is enough to begin building the habit. What matters most right now in 2026 is opening that account and starting the clock, because every single month you wait is a month of compounding you can never get back. Start small, stay consistent, and let time do the heavy lifting for you. Alright, remember at the beginning of this video when I said I'd tell you the mistake that costs beginners thousands of dollars? This is it. Pay close attention here, because this single mistake is responsible for more lost wealth than almost anything else in investing. And it's not what most people expect. It's not picking the wrong stock. It's not choosing index funds over individual companies. The biggest mistake beginners make is trying to time the market, and its evil twin, panic selling the moment things get scary. Let me explain what I mean. Timing the market is when someone tries to predict the perfect moment to buy and the perfect moment to sell. They wait on the sidelines saying things like, "I'll invest once the market drops a bit more," or "I'll sell now before it falls further." Sounds smart in theory, right? Buy low, sell high. But here's the problem. Nobody, and I mean nobody, not professional fund managers, not Wall Street analysts, not that confident guy on social media, can consistently predict short-term market movements. It's basically impossible. Here's a real example of why this matters so much. Some of the best days in the stock market's history happened right after some of the worst days. If you're sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the right time, you don't just miss the scary drop, you often miss the powerful recovery that follows it too. Studies have shown that if you miss just the 10 best days in the market over a 20-year period, because you were trying to time your entry perfectly, your overall returns can be cut dramatically, sometimes by half or more. 10 days, out of thousands. That's how costly this mistake is. Now let's talk about the other side of this: panic selling. This usually happens when the market drops, and it will drop sometimes. That's completely normal, and beginners see their account balance shrink and immediately panic. They pull their money out to stop the bleeding. But here's the truth nobody tells you: you only actually lose money when you sell. Before that, it's just a temporary dip on paper. Selling during a downturn takes a normal, healthy market correction and turns it into a permanent, real loss for you specifically. Think of it like this: Imagine buying a house, and one random afternoon a neighbor tells you it's temporarily worth less than what you paid. Would you panic and sell your house that same day? Of course not, you'd wait, because you know real estate goes through cycles. Investing works exactly the same way, except people panic way faster with stocks, because the number is staring at them on a screen every single day. So here's your practical action step. Once your money is invested in solid, diversified funds, your job isn't to babysit it daily. Set up automatic contributions, choose your investments wisely, and then genuinely leave it alone. Check in occasionally, not obsessively. Because the investors who build real wealth aren't the ones who time things perfectly. They're the ones who simply stay invested, stay consistent, and let the market do what it's always done over time, which is go up. Okay, so we've covered a lot: your mindset, your foundation, your options, the power of compounding, and the mistake to avoid. Now let's bring this all together into something you can actually do the moment this video ends. Because information without action is basically useless, so let's turn everything we talked about into a simple, no overwhelm action plan for 2026. Step 1. Open a brokerage account. This sounds intimidating, but honestly, it's easier than signing up for a streaming service these days. There are plenty of beginner-friendly platforms out there that let you open an account in about 10 minutes, right from your phone. You don't need a finance background. You don't need to talk to anyone in a suit. You just need an ID and a bit of information about yourself. That's it. This is simply the account that holds your investments. Think of it as the front door you walk through to get started. Step 2. Automate your contributions. This is honestly the step that separates people who stay consistent from people who fall off after a month. Set up an automatic transfer, even if it's just $50 or $100. That moves from your bank account into your investment account on the same day every month, ideally right after payday. Why does this matter so much? Because it removes emotion and willpower from the equation completely. You're not deciding to invest every month. It just happens, the same way your rent or your phone bill just happens. Out of sight, out of mind, and building wealth quietly in the background. Step 3. Choose a diversified fund. Remember what we talked about earlier: index funds and ETFs. For most beginners in 2026, a low-cost, broad market index fund is genuinely one of the smartest starting points. You're not trying to find some hidden gem stock. You're simply buying a small slice of the overall market's growth. Simple, proven, and boring in the best possible way. Step 4, and this is the one people struggle with the most: review annually, not daily. Pick one day, maybe your birthday, maybe January 1st, and check in on your investments once a year. That's genuinely enough. Checking daily, or even weekly, does nothing except stress you out over normal, temporary ups and downs. The people who check the least, ironically, tend to make the fewest emotional mistakes, and end up with the best long-term results. So here's your real, honest 2026 starting checklist. Open the account this week. Set up your automatic deposit even if it's small. Choose one simple, diversified fund, and then step back, and let time and consistency do what they do best. Here's what I want you to remember walking away from this video: you don't need to be an expert to start. You just need to start. The version of you 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 30 years from now, is going to look back at this exact moment and either thank you for finally taking action or wish you had. So don't overthink this. Open that account today, take that first small step, and let 2026 be the year your money finally starts working as hard as you do.